Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
Success is whatever you make it. If you want to be happy, you want to provide for your family.
Live.
You gotta put that work in, man. You gotta go get
Learn.
See, listen, this is what I tell them.
Serve.
I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals.
Inspire. You're in the right place. You're checking out Chip Baker, The Success Chronicles.
Conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles. And today we have Karen Briscoe with us. She is involved in real estate in the Washington, D.C. area, an author, real estate success in 5 minutes a day, has a podcast, 5 Minute Success podcast, and is a speaker as well. And so involved in lots of great things. And I'm so thankful to have her on this episode of the Success Chronicles. So thank you so much.
Well, Chip, thank you for having me. And anybody that has success in their title, I mean, it's an automatic connection right there.
There you go. There you go. And that's what, when I saw the 5 minutes, got to interview her.
Well, yeah, because you're like, okay, so how does the 5 minutes work? That's what everybody often wants to know.
That's it. Well, let's dive into it. I mentioned a few things about your story, but you don't mind, talk to us about your story and track your story to now, if you don't mind.
Well, so in 2002, I re-entered the workforce after basically staying home for 15 years to raise my children. And I went into residential real estate. I had been in commercial real estate before children, and I met with success pretty rapidly and achieved high rankings in terms of on the Wall Street Journal top 250 team list, which is quite an accomplishment considering there's several million real estate agents. And what had happened is a lot of people would come to me and ask me, how did I do it? Because, people see that level of success and they want to know how you do it. And I had been writing a blog for some time, and this led to training and coaching people. But what I found is that many people said that they didn't have enough time to invest in their personal or business development. And so I said, well, do you have 5 minutes a day? That's why I came up with that idea, because I was like, really, truly, if you invest 5 minutes a day, several things will happen. One is that there is some strategy at the success principle of doing a little bit every day, because it kind of creates a domino effect. It creates you're more likely to remember it. What happens with a lot of books and training, I'm sure you've had this happen where you go, got all these great ideas that are coming back, but you don't do anything because it's too much. It's kind of a tsunami. And so the book is designed literally to be read like a daily reader, like you would a motivational or devotional. And it provides the information and inspiration and in what I call this new delivery method, so that every day you have a new concept. And what I found is that people are more likely to remember it and apply it because it's the right amount of information, but also they get this cumulative effect over time. And that book, Real Estate Success in 5 Minutes a Day, led to me doing a lot of interviews because people who are authors get asked to be on interviews. And I saw that there was the concepts in the 5 Minute Success applied to a lot of areas beyond just real estate. For sure in sales and entrepreneurship and professional endeavors. And so life. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. There's a reason why motivational and religious literature has been doing it in a daily reader or daily devotional format for eons, because if we take in a little bit every day, we're more likely to build up positive habits And so anyhow, that led to launching the 5-Minute Success podcast in October of 2017, which is now well over 100 episodes and 50,000 downloads. And those conversations, which I'm sure the conversations you have with folks, I've been tuning into the Success Chronicles, it's really been inspiring. It's just amazing.
Thank you so much.
And so that's led to other opportunities, like you said, like speaking and coaching and more books. So the other thing I found in listening to people about the daily reader format, they're like, but it's so big. And I'm like, but you're only reading a page a day. Why do you care how big it is? And people are like, even paralyzed with that. And I'm like, okay, so could you do a 66-day challenge? There's a lot of research about habit formation.
Mm-hmm.
And 66 days is one of the key current researches. And so I now have the book, Commit to Get Leads 66-Day Challenge, which offers people a way to jumpstart their business development, their prospecting, and that has been very successful as well. So it's one of these, the story, my life story, my career has been a journey of meeting needs of people and impacting, improving people's lives as I come into contact with them.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Well, what are 3 things you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
Well, in terms of family, I'm certainly proud that I have a marriage of 31 plus years and 2 children that are both launched and living full lives. And so that is certainly something. I would say that it was a real juncture for me in terms of writing the book, because up until that time, I was very good at productivity in terms of being successful in that arena. And what I found, though, is there was something, I don't want to say missing. I just felt like I could do more. I felt like I had more to offer and that I could do more. And so I would say writing the book, because for many years I had said I was going to write a book, and many people told me I should write a book. Right. But I'll tell you, if you you'll talk to a lot of people that say they're going to write a book, but the actual writing of the book, it was required quite a bit of commitment from me, because I still sell real estate and family commitment. So when I made that commitment to myself to write the book and then seeing it coming to fruition, it was literally 9 months to the point of conception to printing. And so I call it my 3rd child, the book. So I would say that, because it really was a paradigm shift. It was a change for me in a couple of ways. One, again, the idea of being an author, a lot of people talk about it, but actually doing it was as a game changer. But the other one was, it was one of the first times in my life where I flipped time. And you and I talked about this a little bit, but
right.
It was the first time I put my personal development and self-actualization first, what was meaningful for me first. In fact, I literally got up an hour earlier in the morning, which is a habit hack that is very proven.
Oh man, it's amazing.
For writers. Yeah, what could happen?
It makes a big difference.
But it was a big commitment for me, because I used to say I wasn't a morning person. And so starting that morning routine, I don't know if you're familiar with Hal Elrod and the Miracle Morning, but putting the Miracle Morning into place and the habit routine of writing every day. And that was a real game changer for me, because it created all this time. I thought I needed to create time after I'd done everything else, or that the time would just appear and I would use that time, which many people do, right? They put off doing the things they want to do. And so when I flipped, what I call flip time, when I flipped time and started loving the life I live while I create the life of my dreams, that was a real shift for me. And that happened about 3.5 years ago. And so that has taken me on another journey that at this age, I'm going to be 60 in 2019. So that was a really, I tell people, you can start at any time. I'm proof
yes.
that you can start at any time, and that you should also put those things first, because some people do run out of time. right? And so that's where regret happens. And I decided I don't want to live a life of regret. And then I would say the third thing would be fitness and health, which I've always been relatively healthy for my age group. But this past year, I started a real commitment to upping my fitness level. I was not raised as an athlete. It was not valued in my family, even though I am active, biking and hiking and that type of thing. So I did my first triathlon sprint. Yeah. And create some crazy stories about the day and how it happened. I ended up having to change clothes twice, so I lost a bunch of time, but I placed the highest in the novice group for my age. And it was like, wow, I could do this. And somebody said to me, oh, you're going to really get into this. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be that crazy woman who does 80 by 80. And that's stuck. And everybody's like, oh, Karen, you're doing 80 by 80. So I started this, calling it a 80 by 80 movement, and focusing on people that are, generally after the 50 mark and wanting to make a commitment to their health. And so it's not launched yet or anything, but the idea is in this, formation stage. But that idea, that commitment to my health and my fitness, and I, again, back to when I said you can start it at any time, I'm starting this at 59. And so I would hope that some of your listeners out there might say, wow, she can do that. I can do that too.
That's it. That's right. And that's why we have the Success Chronicles, for inspiration and motivation. And so I think, especially the thing that you talked about as far as flipping your time, having habits of consistent habits that create success, having a formula, so you're intentional about what you're doing. I think all of those things are inspiring, and we can all take those and use those in our life to be successful, regardless of what it is: real estate, job, family, life, personal development, whatever it is. You can take those principles and use those to help you be successful. And, on the lines of success or being successful, what is your definition of success?
So in the real estate profession, we talk about the value of land or property when it's at its highest and best use. And so land can be used as a dump, or it can be used as a park. It can be used as a commercial building, or it can be used as a thriving school. And so I think about it in terms of myself and the people that are around me, is that what is their highest and best self? So success is when I and the people around me are living at their highest and best self. So for one person, that may be, one avenue or one direction, and another person, it may be different. So it's not a matter of that. And also the thing about that, with that definition of success, is that it can grow and change. Because if you would have asked me if I was going to be doing podcasting at 59, well, first of all, I wouldn't even know, because podcasting is a relatively new phenomenon. I had a speech impediment as a child. This is not something I thought, okay, this is a career trajectory for Karen. And so I think that can change, because we can always be, the other great thing about that definition is you can always be seeking your highest and best self. Right. In whatever situation you're in, whether it be in your job or your profession or your business or your family or in your relationships and your spiritual life and in your finances, you're like, okay, what's my highest and best self here? And so that definition really resonates with me, or that meaning.
I like it. What do you think it takes to achieve that?
That is, well, you talked about habits. I think habits, the beauty of habits is that if you set good habits, then they help propel you through, because the resistance sometimes can be strong to change, and even people with commitment. So that's one benefit of habits. I think it means being a continuous learner and continuously investing in yourself. Because the other thing I've discovered about that is, I used to think of that as being selfish. Like if I spent time on my personal development or did self-care or things that were for myself, that I was being selfish because I was perhaps taking time away from somebody else. What I found is it can actually have a positive impact in the sense that it's like, the pond that's thrown into, or the pebble that's thrown into a pond, it creates the concentric circles. When I'm, it's kind of like the rising tide raises all boats. When I'm improving myself, everybody else's lives around me are often improving. If anything, they just see I'm happier, right? And so that
the ripple effect is amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. It's not necessarily selfish at all. And so I would say that to achieve it is an ongoing process. So I don't think there's any one and done. And that's why the continuous learning and the continuously finding ways to improve in all the areas of your life, because you can be really good at one thing and then all of a sudden get out of balance at another. And I think it's a counterbalance. I find people like, oh, I want to achieve balance. And I'm like, that I don't know if that's achievable. I think that because there's always, when you put emphasis on something, then something else is going to get out of balance. And so you constantly working to meet that purpose. Mm-hmm. If you're working towards that, then I think that that's how I would look at success and how to achieve it.
All right. Well, Karen Briscoe, I sure appreciate you taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles. Lots of great nuggets that we can all take and use in our life.
Well, thank you, Chip, for having me. And I wish you further success in your life.
Thank you so much. Same to you. And thank you guys for checking out this episode. We'll see you next time. God bless. Go get it.